Okay, so we will call to order the February 25th workshop for the Westerly School Committee. Members present, Peter Nero, Mike Ober, Tim Killam, Angela Goethals, Christy Walston, and myself, Leslie Dunn. Ms. Wyckoff will not be joining us this evening. Angela, can you listen to the Pledge of Allegiance?
Of course. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And Mr. Ober, could you read our mission statement?
Sure. A great and inspiring, challenging, and supportive environment where students are encouraged and assisted in reaching their highest potential.
Thank you. All right, so this evening we have our 2025-2026 budget approval. So before we do that, do Cindy or Dr. Versos or anything that you wanted to share with us before we?
I will let Cindy take you through it, but here we're at the process now where it's time, and we would hope and recommend that the school committee will adopt the budget that's been presented, because we are on a timeline where we need to get it over to the town manager. From there, we would, this body and the administration will meet with the finance board, answer any of their questions. They will make recommendations to the town council. There will be probably some deliberations with the town council, and they will determine what level of funding they are willing to provide to the committee. Our fiscal year begins July 1, so by law we must go into July 1 with a balanced budget. So we have some time, but not this week. We have to get this over to the town manager, and then we have the spring process. And there will be challenging conversations and some difficult decisions that have to be made, I'm sure. But again, we would hope and recommend that the budget be adopted this evening. Cindy has provided some documentation that she can speak to and talk you through.
So the first report you have is a summary of budget changes. You'll note it starts with, this is the same from February 11th, where I start with the 25 adopted budget, all of the changes. If you go to page 2, you'll note highlighted, I did have a couple of corrections to make. The culinary assistant FTE change was a 0.13, not 0.2. And cosmetology I had in one line, but it's actually a 0.2 increase cosmetology teaching and 0.2 coordinator department head. So that was a slight adjustment to FTE, but not the actual expenditure figures. So continuing to the bottom of page 2, this is where we left off on February 11th. So if you can turn to the third page, these are the proposed changes from February 11th that we have. We did take a look at the budget for some of those one-time items to perhaps fund with fund balance or with any funds from this year. We know we have the ESSER indirect revenue, that's additional revenue. So that could be used to fund some of these one-time purchases. So in the technology department, we have $50,000 for the business impact analysis. This we're recommending use of fund balance for. The next technology department, Chromebook insurance for elementary 2-to-1 Chromebooks. This is a purchase we would make this year. The same with the next 3 from the technology sites budget. Tech hardware, teacher laptops for $60,200. $42,000 in kindergarten Chromebooks. And those are the Chromebooks that Mike referred to that fold. So it's like the iPad that they're using now, but a Chromebook, which will assist when they go to grade 1. And then $22,000 for replacement projectors. The next one, a line you did not see, it's not necessarily FTE, it's additional staffing paid hourly, teaching staff. A proposed homework club is currently funded by a grant. We're uncertain of the grant's future. However, at this point, we're recommending removing that. So that's $16,232. And then the next three items from the high school textbooks: foreign language for $5,802, science, which is physics, for $5,005, and $13,000 for required AP US government textbooks. So we would be looking to fund all of the textbook items out of this year's operating budget. So that would reduce the proposed budget by $220,359. However, I do have an addition. In reviewing FTE, I do have a correction to a salary, so we do need to add back $54,580 of salary and fringe. That was just a formula error. So the net proposed change would reduce by $165,779, leaving us with a proposed 26 budget of $60,233,805, an increase of $699,446, or 1.17%. So not a significant change, but these were definitely the outliers that we felt we could definitely purchase with other funds.
So again, this, just for clarity's sake, we've been talking about the fiscal 26 budget, next year's budget, but there are monies available, especially this, as we get this late into the year, we're into March. There are monies available in the current budget that we could use to offset some of those things that would have appeared in 26. And Cindy is proposing taking the $50,000 for the what we believe is important business impact analysis that Mike Soika talked about a couple weeks ago, and paying for that out of fund balance. So it takes some of the pressure off of this year's budget.
So these are not, when you say they're going away, you don't mean they're going away, you just mean that they're not going to be in the budget.
They're not going to be in the 26 budget. We're still satisfying the need. We're still getting the books. We're getting the analysis completed through alternate sources.
Okay.
So can you help me understand the email that we received today a little bit? Because I was not following that, but kind of confused about what all was going on there with the 5 to 4 and the different numbers flowing around.
Okay. So when you look at the budget summary page, which the one you have is updated with these proposed changes, you'll see the decrease in fund balance revenue.
Okay.
So with the revenue decreases, to balance the budget, we're requesting 1.3 million from the town.
Okay. And so why are we decreasing that again? Is that
Right.
the 4 employees that we were?
The 5. So in this adopted budget for fiscal year 25, you'll see there's $419,899 of fund balance revenue.
Okay.
So that was added by the school committee.
Right.
And in the salary and fringe, under expenditures, there's a total of $419,899 of expenditures for 5 elementary teachers. So in order to go into 2026 and be able to say to the town, we're not just coming forward with a budget and saying we're not using fund balance, we're pushing that to you. If we remove the fund balance, the revenue, we have to remove those expenditures. We've done that to a certain extent. So while there were 5 elementary teacher salaries in 25's budget, in 24, we removed 4 for a total of $364,161. So there's a difference of $55,738.
So Madam Chair, a question. As a matter of formality, should we have a motion and then have the discussion as a result of that? So then we just vote on it?
Well, what we can do is if there's anything else that Cindy needs to present, and then we can have a motion
Okay,
to adopt the
all right.
budget and then discuss among the committee.
So the next page is just an updated revenue and expense summary, which shows the with the additional proposed changes from tonight, the the request for local appropriation from the town would be an additional $1,349,644, or a 2.75% increase. With an overall budget increase of $699,446 for a 1.17%. If we had not budgeted fund balance and we did not have the revenue and expenditures, the 419,000 in fiscal year 25, if I back that out and we started and then went forward with this budget, we would have an increase of $1,119,345 for a 1.89% increase.
But technically you wouldn't need to do that because we
Right.
decided we weren't funding the 5 teachers. Okay, that makes sense. Sorry.
No, that's good.
Questions? The next 2 reports I sent, as we've gone along, and I've given you site budgets, I've given FTE by location, so you've gotten them for Dunn's Corners, different programs, so these reports, this is the total operating budget FTE schedule, and I did one by position and one by location. So that way, for example, if you just wanted to look at art teachers, for example, on page 1, you can just look at art teachers in total instead of having to look by location and pull them out of the schools. So you can see how many art teachers we have in total, and it does show you their location. And just like any other reports, these are all in the school committee drive as well.
Anybody have any questions, any of these? Before we-
I think everything would be clear.
So if we're good there, then what I will do is seek a motion to approve our 2025-26 budget as presented here.
Second,
All right. And so a motion and a second, and now I'll open it up for discussion. Okay.
okay. No, I mean, there's really not that much discussion. We've been through the budget, it's pretty clear. It is what it is. It's, you know, it's what we need. It's, you know, I can't think anything exorbitant that we're asking for. And, you know, as you can see, when finance put together, I mean, you have to take 5,000 here, 50,000 there, to come up with any kind of savings. Real savings is always going to be in employees. And if we don't get the amount, I mean, that's what we're going to have to look at. We're going to be looking at staff. I know we'll try not to, but I think that's the reality of things, that any significant cut would mean a loss of people at somewhere.
Well, you guys, I really appreciate all your principals and content specialists presenting. Actually, even going back to our first meeting when they came, Cindy done a great job. And if this is the budget that the superintendent is recommending, again, based on the fact that they just didn't do this in the last couple of weeks, they've been working on this for a long time. I'm fine with it. It's going to be when we get to the the finance meetings and the council, and then it'll be up to the superintendent to make recommendations if they don't give us the 1.17% the increase, which I believe that was at 1.17. So
Yeah.
So and we'll go with it from there. But again, I don't want to micromanage this at this point. Myself personally, that'll be fair.
Anybody else? No? I mean, I feel the same way. I think, we've gone through it, we've had great presentations and everything, and it makes sense. And even I'm grateful, excuse me, to see some of those opportunities where we might be able to use fund balance for some of those other things we talked about. So, we can kind of use that to our advantage here. But I'm really pleased with this, and I think, it's been great. And I thank you, Cindy, for everything that you do, because I know there's a lot of questions coming at you and a lot. So I really appreciate all the work that gets done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you all. I appreciate everything and all the efforts that you put into, especially the specifics and the details, being so organized.
Because I mean, we all know too, we get the questions about, you know, what is being asked for in the budget, and I feel like, you know, I always feel really confident that we can answer what's being asked for and what's in this budget. So it makes it easy to have those conversations. So anybody have anything else before we?
How do we rank against, are you seeing trends in terms of districts around us and what they're requesting right now? How do you guys fare
What
on?
I've seen recently is Stonington.
Yes. But it's crazy what's going on in Connecticut right now in terms of the increases, so, I was just wondering if the local districts, they shoot out like once a week where everybody is in terms of the budget process. So, but again,
I think Charter is also a significant increase.
so I appreciate the hard work everybody put in. Thank you, and we'll go with it from there, I guess. We'll see what
I know.
happens.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. So I'll go down forward just to make sure we're good to go.
I vote yes.
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 All right,
Thank you.
motion carries. Approved. Oh, that was a quick one, guys.
My wife's gonna think I have a real quick.
So now we need a motion to adjourn. Second, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none? Have a good night.
I mean, it's
Right?
not like